and welcome. Let's have the music. Let's put this over here. And let's send a report here. Comes daily analysis live stream kicking off now. Right, and we can give it a moment to pick up, or to spread rather. So, welcome to the daily NFT market health analysis with me, Daniel Tenner, aka Swombat, where we're going to look at what's happening in the NFT world in terms of data rather than vibes, and comparing a couple of different types of data, and also looking at crypto because crypto is quite relevant at the moment. So, where should I start today? I suppose the first thing to start with is that, if you do look at those charts, they do look pretty good. And I sound kind of hesitant saying that because I feel like a bit weirded out. I feel a bit spooked. It's like, it's definitely a bullish chart. And I also know that something in the underlying data isn't quite right. So yesterday we were looking at this CryptoPunks pumps. And I wondered in a thread whether it was insider trading or something else. And it turns out it was insider trading, which is like, very sad. I mean, well, not very sad, but it's a bit like it's disappointing, let's say. It's, to me, it's like the second major misstep that Yuga Labs have made recently. The first one being the other side mint that wasted $100 million of gas, and triggered sort of like, as we saw, like, it got us. There was this one, and it got us heading downwards as soon as it happened. This was the second major misstep that I see. Like, buying CryptoPunks was a great move. Leaking the information twice now, because this happened, like, before they bought Meebits and CryptoPunks, there was a leak as well, and those pumped, and then they announced that they were buying it. And now, before they announced a new CEO, there was a pump as well, and then they announced a new CEO, and it like continued pumping. And it's just, if this is meant to be the best project in the NFT space, it really doesn't look very good. As an investor, I don't want to be, or as a trader, I don't want to be playing against people who have insider info who are going to use it to exploit me and, like, take more money from me and stuff. Like, I think, the idea of a level playing field is very essential in the stock market. And these are ultimately very, very public stock markets where everything is visible and so on. And you can really see the bullshit when it happens. And this is bullshit, basically. Like, there's no other thing to call it than bullshit. And I don't like to see this bullshit. It doesn't make me happy. It's unfortunate. There is some, like, somewhat bullishness in the rest of the market. I mean, it's better, like, even if you compare it, like, take the women-led projects index, it was so low over here. It's definitely been higher since the capitulation. So things have gotten better. And you can see also here, like, whilst there is a bit of consolidation happening around this area, it's definitely gone up over time. And here as well, you can also see the volumes have gone up. Some of that here is due to CryptoPunks, but not all of it. And if we look at, let's look at these first again. We can see that all of them show this pattern of, like, having gone up and then consolidating. And the up was partly due to this capitulation that happened when, like, Celsius and all that kind of crap was going down. And it's actually held up pretty well since then in terms of volumes. And if we look at this chart, we can see that the prices have also been rising. Obviously, some of that is CryptoPunks boosting up because of the insider trading, but still, there's a kind of, like, that started before CryptoPunks did their thing. So there is a general uptrend in price. There is a general uptrend in volume. I feel a little bit in two minds about it. Like, I don't know, like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, this insider trading. And it doesn't make me want to participate in that market. It certainly makes me very clear that, if I had any doubts, I already believe that Yuga projects were generally overvalued. Now I believe that they're not only overvalued, they're also, like, unethically run, basically. And then there's this video that's come out today, like a 1-hour video investigating various racist dog whistles that may be present in the Yuga Labs projects and stuff. And I don't know what credibility to give to that. It feels like a lot of it is very weak evidence, but there's a lot of that very weak evidence. And I'm not making my mind up whether it is actually conclusive or not, but I am certainly making my mind up that it makes me uneasy. And whether or not it's true, it's not something I like to have hanging over as a cloud over projects that I'm involved in. Luckily, I'm not involved in any Yuga Labs projects. And it looks like it's made my decision easier to just not even consider getting involved in it. If I had been tempted to buy other side land, which given my general attitude to metaverse land was very unlikely, but if I had been tempted, I'm even less tempted now. I don't want to touch that kind of project that's got this kind of insider trading and possible racist connotations and whatever. So if we look at the other indices, as I said, like, you know, they're all like, yeah, I mean, if you look at this picture like here, or like let's do that on the top 10, you can see that we've had the downtrend. It does look like we've recovered from the downtrend, and we're kind of almost getting a V-shaped recovery now. This has happened before, not from such a low point. So this is like recovering from a lower point, but we've had this kind of cycle in this index before, and it looks like we've shifted to the next phase of the cycle. I don't know if that's going to continue. Maybe we're just going to head down now. Maybe we're going to head down even more sharply. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But despite my sense that like, I'm not sure why NFTs would necessarily pump right now, like, you know, the volumes have gone up. Maybe the capitulation was what was needed, and maybe also the background context of crypto is what was needed. So let's have a look at crypto quickly, actually, while we're here. So if I go and open this again, and we have this as a slightly bigger image here. So we've been looking at this crypto situation. So there's a lot of like, first of all, if we look at the weekly thing, we can see that yes, we had like, so this is Ethereum, but Bitcoin is the same. We've had, like, you know, some serious capitulations. It's sort of bounced back here with a lot of volume. It's now like Bitcoin is now hanging above the $20,000 milestone, which is quite important. Ethereum is above $1,000, above $1,100 actually. Considering the general context with, like, you know, 3 Arrows Capital is still imploding and probably taking down God knows what else with it, this is not too bad. It could be a lot worse, I think. And I think that's maybe the general sentiment in the market is like, okay, things are pretty bad, but they could be worse, and they're not worse somehow, so that's good. Like, it's optimism based on pessimism. It's but, you know, you got to take whatever optimism you can get, and right now the optimism is based on the fact that, wow, things should be even worse, but somehow they aren't, so that's pretty good. If we look at the daily time scale, we can see that yesterday we had a good end of week rally, and, you know, we hung out like below 20,000 for quite a while there. Like, it held 20,000 for like 3 days, and then it went, like, as we commented before, it just collapsed below, and then yesterday it recovered, and it's gone below 20,000, but it's now fighting around the 20,000 mark. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's like, that's a generally, I'd call this a generally positive sentiment, or, like, you know, pattern going on around here. I mean, it might continue to go down. Obviously, there appears to be a downtrend there, but the fact that it's actually resisting at this level is a positive. And maybe if it's sort of like hangs around at this psychologically meaningful level of about $1,000 or about $20,000 for quite a while, that could be really good market conditions for NFTs to pick up. Gas is also relatively low because there's not too much activity, and contracts are better optimized than last summer. So this could actually be good conditions for a bull market at NFTs to happen. Here we see, like, you know, Zeneca New also, actually let me switch back to this. Zeneca New also showing that pattern of, you know, moving up and then consolidating around this level. And the women-led projects as well has been quite bullish. Like, these are like, you know, let's remember the Zeneca Old, Zeneca New, and women-led projects are basically 3 random thermometers stuck into or thrust into the melting pot of the NFT world. And in the short term, they're doing better than they were. Like, they were downtrending quite sharply for quite a while, and they're doing a bit better than they were. I was hoping to have other indices available by now, but I've been having issues with my data provider, Moralis. I've tweeted about it just now. I'm probably switching to something called Reservoir. But yeah, like, I don't know whether to trust this, but it is what it is. And until it behaves differently, I think, I have to accept that that is the data. There is these transactions going through. Like, there is this volume, and it is spread across many different projects. It's not just all Yuga Labs, it's not just all CryptoPunks. I mean, the top 10 index is heavily propped up by the CryptoPunks pumps. And maybe to some extent Zeneca Old, but Zeneca New, Zeneca New and the women-led projects definitely aren't. And even discounting those, the volumes are much higher than they were before the capitulation. And that has to be accepted because that's the reality, that's the truth. And you don't get very far arguing against the truth, at least not in trading or investing. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call this a bull market, but I'd say it's a positive sign at the moment. It's better that, like, it's like, it's bad, but it's better than it could be. Is my summary of the market today. Bad, but better than it could be. If you have any questions, by the way, feel free to post them. Feel free to write them. I'll be happy to answer them. And you don't have to have any questions if you don't want to. But we're only 11 minutes in, and I feel like I'm kind of running out of things to comment about these charts. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the stock market brings tomorrow. Oh no, actually today. Today is open. It's open. It's Monday. Forgot that it was Monday. Okay, so the stock market is also looking quite positive. Fantastic. So we can actually look at the stock market as well. So stock market is opening, like the FTSE is opening up. So something's going on in the rest of the market as well. The dollar has been going down over the weekend, showing that people are less like moving their savings less into dollars right now, I guess. And we still don't have the Nasdaq and the S&P and the Dow Jones open yet. That will be in about 20 minutes or so. So yeah, a reasonably positive day, and curious to see what happens next. And curious to see. I mean, I'll also point out that I'm noticing that, like, in terms of my portfolio, for example, projects seem to be holding up fairly well. Like, Meta Angels is still holding around 0.11, like between 0.1 and 0.2. Curious Addies are still holding up. Zen Academy is still holding up. Prices aren't moving very much. So whatever is, where's the thing here? Yeah. Whatever is happening to the market isn't causing a collapse in the prices of the NFTs. Do I think NFT NYC event will move markets? Well, previous events haven't really moved markets in my experience. Like, there's been a bunch of events. There's been like a Gary V conference. There was, something else some time ago, or like I don't even remember what it was, and it rarely moved the markets. Like, people said like, oh yeah, this is like, things are going to happen, but usually it doesn't. I think when people are at events, they spend time meeting the people at the events. They don't spend that time buying NFTs while they're there. I suppose it's a good time for people to make announcements, but then again, it's not a good time for people to make announcements because everyone else is making announcements. And if you want to make announcements to drive hype to your project and you wait until the point where everyone else is making announcements, then your announcements get drowned out and you don't get any more attention than anybody else. So we'll see how that works out. I don't expect it to move the market substantially. I think what moves the market more is what's happening with the price of Bitcoin and ETH and that sort of stuff. That's where I'm looking. What is it? Okay, yeah. I've not seen those events move markets before, so I'll be surprised if that does happen now. Any other question? Let me put the music on, see if it draws another question. Yeah, there's not a huge amount to comment on today. Like, I could rant more about Yuga Labs, but I don't feel like it, first of all. We'll see what happens with Yuga Labs and insider trading and all that sort of stuff. It's just, it's not very nice. I don't feel like I want to talk about it very much. Just to point out that it exists and to know that effectively when you're playing in Yuga Labs sandbox, you're playing with a playing field that's tilted. Is that video worth a watch about Yuga? Well, I've watched parts of it. I haven't watched the whole video because it is an hour long. It seems to repeat a lot of the stuff that was, if you ever saw, there was this Gordon Goner website, if you saw this back in January or so, it came out, it had a bunch of stuff, and there's a bunch of stuff like, you know, there's things that just seem like very odd coincidences, like this, like the logos. I mean, yes, maybe it could be a coincidence, but you know, by itself that wouldn't be that much. But between that and all sorts of other things that they come up with, there's just a lot of things that just don't sound very good. Like, and that seem like sort of subtle or not so subtle dog whistles. And the video is basically more in depth. If you want the summary of it, there's this, but the video goes a lot more in depth, and it seems to be done by somebody who's got a lot more journalistic credentials. Which, let's face it, considering how people with journalistic credentials have been attacking the NFT and crypto space, doesn't necessarily mean much. But like, I think it has like 120,000 views at this time of. There you go. No, where is the YouTube version? Hold on, let me see if I can load up the video. It's here. I'll put. Oops. Oops. I'll post it here for anybody who wants it. It has at this point 145,000 views. It's an hour long. It's by somebody with 700,000 subscribers on their YouTube. Claims to be the result of hundreds of hours of research and investigative journalism, insights from experts in the field of art and internet culture. I don't know. Like, credentials are, like, you know, not necessarily worth the paper they're printed on. But it does have, I mean, it basically just does make that case further, basically. And it like points to various other issues, various other connections that seem to, like, what was a good one? Yeah, I mean, it covers the logo and stuff as well. Where is it? Here. No, okay, I can't select the right screenshot. Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like, none of the bits of evidence that I saw there were by themselves enough to say, oh yeah, this is definitely some kind of like racist dog whistle to me. But there's so many of them that it makes me wonder, and it makes me uncomfortable. And whether or not it's true, my view is there are many other projects in the NFT space where there is no such discomfort. I don't have to wonder whether the founders, despite, like, and you know, one of the strongest counter arguments against this is that the founders are actually a very diverse bunch. There's, you know, they're from Cuba, Venezuela, or I think, or Guatemala or something. Like, there's a Jewish person, like, there's Israeli. Like, you know, why would those people decide to have a bunch of racist dog whistles? It doesn't really make sense. And yet, if it doesn't really make sense, why are there so many little things like that? It just, yeah, something doesn't quite make sense, and I feel like I'd rather stay away from this project. I mean, I'd rather stay away from this project because of the insider trading, first of all. But the insider trading plus the potential that this turns into another Jungle Freaks, but much worse, is like even more reason for me to stay away from UGAP projects. Yeah, maybe there's a lot of hype and attention, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm uncomfortable with the amount of like disturbing details that the video or the website uncover. So yeah, I think that's where I am with that. Are there any other questions? Should point out that tomorrow I'll be able to do an update, but the day after I'll be in Poland for a few days. I probably will not do a video stream. It's going to be a very, like, a busy month. So I've got those who are watching here and are wondering. I don't think anybody's planning their day based on my videos, but basically I'll be gone to Poland from Wednesday to Sunday. And then I'll be back for 2 days. And then I'm driving to Spain for a festival called Nowhere, which is a burn. And I'll be back from that on the 12th of July. There's going to be a hiatus where when I'm at Nowhere, I will not even be posting daily threads. So if you like to see the charts will continue to be posted to the Discord. I think it will still be the current charts engine, the one based on Moralis. It's not going to be the new one because I don't know if I'm going to be able to swap it over before then. But we'll see. Maybe I will be, because this new engine that I'm looking at, the new data source, syncs a lot faster. So we'll see. But yeah, so forward news there basically. Feels like a good green ETH weekend coming. Best of luck to all of us. Yeah, I mean, I've been like, I bought 5k at about 1100. I've been DCAing with another account as well, which is like my joint account with my wife. So I bought some of it at 1000 as well. So like it feels like a good place to accumulate. Or at least I'm accumulating some ETH. And obviously whether it's a good place or not depends on your specific circumstances. So, have a wonderful day, I guess. I think we're done with this stream. And I'll see you tomorrow for one more stream before the Poland break. And take care. Hope everything goes well for you today. And happy trading and investing. Oh, we can finish with this picture. No, let's finish with this one. Take care. Bye-bye.